Hey there everyone, this is Sid.
This is Darby.
With Riverbend Survival. Today we're out here doing part 2 of the knife test after they failed the first time and we did the repairs. That video should have come out already. So let us get the camera resituated. We're fighting with some wind and some things today, so we're out by one of the decks on the land. So let me get the camera resituated and then we'll be right back with you. Okay, we've got the camera resituated. We're fighting wind and sun here today. There doesn't seem to be a good way to give you all a pretty view in the back. So what you're actually seeing right here is Stephen's cabin, Dr. Robinson's cabin here, and in the background you can probably see mine over there. We're sitting on the deck because the cabin's blocking a lot of this wind. We have 40-mile-per-hour gusts. So today what we're doing is the second knife test. If you've been following this series, which hopefully you have, we bought these old hickory knives to test them out for bushcrafting knives, and they failed the first test miserably. So then we took them back to my shop and we did a couple of things to, what all did we do to them? We sharpened them.
We sharpened them, we sanded the handles, drilled a hole to put a lanyard in.
And then put a 90-degree on the back.
Yeah.
So they were just horrible. They hurt your hands. The fit and finish was bad. The edge was bad. Couldn't scrape a rod on the back, and then because of the geometry of this knife, when your hand wants to slip, it would slip directly onto the blade. There was nothing to stop it. So for safety purposes, we just went ahead and drilled them out and put lanyard holes in them so that we can not slice ourselves. So we just got some sticks here that we just picked up off the ground. We're going to see if they do any better. We have not used them since then. They've been sitting on the table. So, and these are the same kind of sticks we were using the last time we were up here. We got them from the same, where we filmed at before is over here, but it's about this deep in weeds right now. So we moved over here. Oh, look at that.
A lot better.
After doing all that work, it's obviously a lot better than it was before.
Still not great.
But it's still not great. You have to talk up.
Yeah. Cutting better than it did before, but I'm still not impressed.
I'm getting decent feather stick. Doing a feather stick, I'm getting a decent feather stick on it. What's going to me there?
Peeling block bark pretty good today.
Yeah.
Better than it was, folks, but it's just, and maybe I'm just holding my expectations a little high on the old hickory. But it is better than it was before. Our improvements seem to help a little bit there, Darby.
Yeah, it's definitely better than it was before, but
Chop's a little bit better.
well, because videoing is a thing. I don't know how else to explain it. We did not realize the battery had died, so we just lost a big chunk of what we were talking about. So we reviewed the tape, we see where it cut off at, but to be honest with you, we don't remember what we said or did during that time period. So we'll just go back to where we were at. We were talking about that it's definitely better.
It's a lot better. I mean,
it's a lot better than it was before. But I'm going to give I think it's going to come down to a personal opinion here on my part, and we'll see what Sid has to say about it. But I think it's just the geometry of the knife makes it not work well for me. It's so long and so wide that the leverage point gets lost, especially out here. When you're doing, you know, like when I'm doing the feather sticks and I have it up close, it's fine. But if I start trying to carve, it wants to bend my wrist back because there's so much leverage out here. Now, I will say that is going to be partly, I think it's going to be mostly due to personal preference, because almost all of the knives that I like are short, not this short. This is my neck knife. But you can see the difference in it. I never lose leverage with this knife. So it doesn't matter if I'm trimming, and see how much easier this is cutting than the one I was just doing. And it still does the feather sticks. And this is not a review of this knife. This is just one of, y'all seen them in the videos before. It's just one of my favorite knives I've had forever. One of the things that did improve a lot was and I was doing it earlier, that's why there's so many strikes on it, but we lost all that footage, is it throws some sparks now.
Oh yeah, the improvements we did, it helped it. Right out of the gate, out of the box, it was just, I hate to say it, it wasn't made for bushcrafting.
No.
And it's still really not.
Yeah, I think, I don't believe, I don't know. We still got a couple of weeks of using these. I don't know. Here in a while, we'll be at the 3-month point, and we'll do a final review, and we won't be doing skills or anything like that with it or testing it. We'll just give you just a couple of minutes of what we think about it.
Well, like, here's my opinion, folks. You know, I'm a big Ontario knife fan. I love them. And the old Hickory has history. Just like, for example, here's an original old Hickory. I mean, you can tell this is from the 70s. This was one of my dad's. And you just look at the difference. But what it is
You said over? Oh, you can feel the difference.
Oh, you feel the handle.
Yeah, and the weight.
And the old man didn't do anything. If you look at the handles, the old Hickory handles, look how they're shaped. They're shaped, they got a little bit more.
They're thicker. A lot thicker.
Like my granddad and my daddy told me, they were the perfect camp knife. What they used them for back in the day. What they were the perfect camp knife. And you know, this is how my dad carried it on his belt. Just one little loop, it just hung, and that's what he used around the campfire. They called him Kelly, got the K there for it, and he just walked around with it on there, and there it was. And you know, now he did drill a hole in it. You know, but he did it kind of like, he took one of the rivets out, and just, that's the way he did it. But you can look at it. Even taking that rivet out years ago, it's still not a loose handle. Full shank. But what I'm saying is, Ontario's a great knife, but I'm going to say this, my brother's going to kick me. Use it in the kitchen. But anyway, it's just like I said, we got a couple more weeks on it, but right now it's not going good in my books.
I'll agree with that. It's going to be and we'll still be tweaking on them like you do with every knife that you have, you know, stropping it or doing different things, trying to make it better. We're trying to give it a fair trial.
Yeah. And we've done it. I mean, we've done some good stuff too. I mean, first video you can see I was wearing gloves.
And my hands got tore up.
And I'm not wearing gloves, and there's no just you work. It works you. It's a working it's a working knife.
So, like I said, we have a couple of weeks left here. Not many, 2 or 3 weeks until we're at the 3-month point. Review on that. So, until next time, get out in the dirt
And have some fun.